much for your attention and just being present with me. My name is Katrina, and I'm the author of the On the Way to Wellness blog. Today, I'm really excited to interview Charmaine Illenberger from San Jose, California, and she has been such a crucial person in my wellness journey. She has helped me just gather tools and kind of figure out the story of my life, basically. So I'm just going to introduce you to Charmaine. We're going to talk about her services and what she offers to the community and how it can also help you with your wellness journey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been waiting for this day. My name is Charmaine, and as Katrina said, I am the space holder at Holding Space, and ever since I kind of started playing with spiritual stuff, Katrina has been really game. Like even when I first started doing essential oils and progressively added more tools into my toolkit, Katrina has always been a playmate, a willing participant. So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So over the years, Holding Space has kind of evolved. There's a term, holding space, that means that when they talk about it in therapy terms, it's where somebody provides a safe space for somebody to either to vent or to just simply be themselves. So when I came up with the name Holding Space, that was the initial kind of meaning that I was intending to share with people through my services. But the term holding space has so much more meaning than that. There's holding space in terms of the container of me, where it's not just me as a mother, me as a nurse, or me as a woman. It's holding space is me as a kind of evolving container of everything that I'm experiencing in the moment. And so there's that aspect of it. And also I think of holding space as kind of a transition point, kind of where a holding space is kind of where you are kind of I don't want to say suspended, but it's a space for you to kind of figure things out before you decide to move or go on an adventure or make a choice. So there's a lot of meanings to it, and as I play with the services and interact with people, that meaning still evolves. Right. So there's more and more layers that get revealed the more that I play with it.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting too, for me, in terms of holding space, it's you have to actually make space in order to hold space.
Yes.
So that's one of the lessons that I've learned in my wellness journey is you have to release a lot of things in order to hold space for new potential things, for good things to come into your life too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So over the years, like I said, what I offer has been evolving, and it's some services I've let go of, and some I've embraced, and some I've kind of mixed together. But right now, the primary focus is, the primary services that I'm focusing on is the Akashic Record readings and quantum healing hypnosis. So Akashic Record readings, I shared with you before, but it's basically, so the Akashic Records is like an etheric field. It's like a warehouse of information that we can all tap into. And there's different ways of tapping into this field to access information. But basically it's what some cultures have called the Book of Life, where it's like a library that holds everybody's stories. And if you believe in reincarnation, it holds the records of every life you may have lived, all the choices you may or may not have made, and all the possible timelines that still lie ahead. So, like I said, there's a lot of different ways of tapping into that information, and there's no one right way. But in the method that I use, I like it because it kind of marries the logical side of my brain and the dreamy side of my brain, because it's a systematic way of asking questions about a person's being, and then so it's systematic in that way, in the way that I ask questions, but it also allows me to tap into my feeling side when I have to put all those kind of like facts together to put together a story. And then when I put together that story, I present it to a client, and in that kind of report or that reading, it helps them get a better sense of who they were, if you believe in design, who they were designed to be, and the kind of like the unique expression that they were meant to share. And then also in another part of it, we also go over any blocks, anything that's getting in the way of you shining that light. Yeah. So there's that, and I've been doing that for several years, and then more recently I started getting into quantum healing hypnosis, and that's so fun. It's been like the funnest thing that I've gotten into. And that one is a hypnosis technique, and it's not the type of hypnosis where you program somebody, whether you want to stop smoking or, that's not the kind of hypnosis this is. It's a kind of hypnosis, and it's more of like a deep guided meditation that connects you, that enables you to access your inner landscape, that enables you to connect with either past lives or alternate lifetimes. And some of us have had like thousands of, past lives, but the lives that you see in a particular session will be determined by what lifetime holds relevant information to your current situation. So it's not like the session is not just for like shits and giggles. We're like, oh, I want to see who I was, like, was I a princess, or was I, like a powerful emperor? It's not like that. The lives that you see in these sessions are lives that, again, hold key information that is useful to whatever situation you're dealing with right now. And then my favorite part of these sessions is the conversation with the higher self. So some people call the higher self superconscious, or your soul, or what are the other words? Your God self. But basically it's that higher aspect of you that kind of like oversees your human experience. And so in a quantum healing hypnosis session, we're able to connect with that aspect of yourself, and all of us are connected to your higher self. So a lot of us, however, are not aware of that connection, or if they do hear that connection, a lot of times people don't listen to it, or they choose to ignore it sometimes. But in this session, you are powerfully connected, like with some more direct connection than normal. And so you're able to ask questions, you're able to get direct answers. And in my past spiritual experiences, either through meditation or other types of journeying, even though I'm able to see parts of my story, I'm the type of person who wants to know the answer. Like, okay, I saw this, but what does it mean? Because I can go on in my head, coming up with so many kinds of meanings and so many different scenarios that I just want to know, okay, what does it mean? So this conversation with higher self is a way to get direct answers, So whatever you were shown in your past life, and whatever other questions that you might have, this conversation part allows you to get direct answers and also deeply experience that connection with the higher self, where you can really feel it. And it's powerful for some, but the most common kind of like reaction that I've gotten from clients is that they realized how easy the connection feels. Mm-hmm. It's not something you have to kind of force. The way you really feel it more powerfully is when you just kind of like relax mm-hmm. into it, because the connection is never forced. Like, the more you try to force it, the more it pushes it away, kind of. So yeah, I think that's the most common realization that people get, and that's the realization that I want people to have, is that they are connected, they have access to this wisdom, and they are powerful, and they are all-knowing. They just need to relax into it mm-hmm. and not fight it, I guess, or not have to try so hard.
Yeah, and I certainly agree, especially with both of the services I've experienced mm-hmm. with you. So with the soul alignment readings, it's kind of like a check-in. Mm-hmm. Try to check in with the things that already were synchronistic and that were going on in my life, and it's like, okay, cool, that this is the energy that I'm feeling right now. Like, for instance, on my soul alignment reading, my energy is very like manifesting type of things, or type of energy. It's just, I want to do things, I want to make things happen, and that's very much how I am. My personality is like that. I'm very like that emotionally too. It's just, I want to get things done, and that was something that I was able to confirm through the soul alignment reading, and just also things like what my soul purpose is in this lifetime, things like that. And what's great was that with the soul alignment reading, it's also kind of confirmed a lot of things that I've experienced in my what's it called again? Quantum healing. Yeah, quantum healing. Yeah, and with the quantum healing, it's really interesting because you definitely go deeper into meditation, and mm-hmm. a lot of the things that came up for me was just things that happened in my past life had these recurring things involved my throat. So when I was doing the sessions, I thought about it and I tried to make sense of it, and the only thing that really resonated with this current lifetime is the thyroid issues that I've experienced. So I had hyperthyroidism, and that was a huge hit to my health in so many ways. It ended up being a really stressful time in my life, and it's just interesting that just this throat stuff happened in this lifetime, things that I was kind of meditating about and journeying, and was related to throat too. So I tried to piece that together, and my story was that this lifetime's about healing things related to my throat. So I'm doing things like going to singing lessons where I can actually try to emote myself through my voice in that kind of way, and try to be authentic and speak my truth and sing my truth, and that's helped a lot. And then also just try to be a lot more, I guess, put myself more out there with my blog, with doing videos, mm-hmm. Even doing the audio, the recordings, things like that. Just trying to heal all this throat stuff in this lifetime. So mm-hmm. yeah, it's been really great doing those services, and it's helped a lot.
Yeah. So this is a good opportunity
mm-hmm.
to work on that as well.
Yeah. What's your wellness journey look like, and how's that journey taking you to where you are right now?
So my wellness journey has primarily revolved, or the beginning parts of it revolved around weight, because I've been what people would consider overweight for most of my life, and there was a period of time, like I think the beginning of my spiritual journey came from that, dealing with that, because
front door.
I was trying to come to terms with, my weight. So, society usually tells us that, like, if you're overweight, it's not healthy. And so there was a period of time where I lost a lot of weight. And I felt initially happy because, like I was full of energy. I was, looking good. I was getting all these compliments. And so that helped me feel well, and it helped me feel more alive. And then there was something that happened. I think my purse got stolen at the gym, where just that instance made me feel unsafe. And so I stopped working out for a little bit, and then that spark that I had at the time kind of like went away. So just from that one, it seems silly, but that one incident kind of like blew that flame out from my candle. And so I spent a lot of time trying to get back to that happy place, and I tried all the tricks that I was doing, before that to get back to that happy place, and it didn't work. And so, I worked out more, tried to lose more weight, I ate less or ate, healthier food. That wasn't it. And then I went to the opposite end of the spectrum where, okay, like maybe I need to let loose more. So like I ate more, drank more, smoked more, like, everything, like I'm just like grabbing at everything outside of me, trying to figure out what would make me feel happy again. Because it was kind of like I don't want to say a drug, but that feeling, that high that I had was so wonderful that I just wanted it back. And when, I think that was like about a year or 2 years of doing that, and I couldn't find it. And then so one day I was looking through my email, and there was like an Amazon coupon for like a psychic reading. And I've never really been into, like psychics and stuff. I've always been to astrology, but not going to psychics or anything like that. But I was just at such a loss that I was like, okay, $35 if they're a fake, or if I don't jive with it, then that's okay. It's just $35.
Yeah.
But if it's able to help me, then then awesome. And so I went, and the lady was able to provide me some information, but I was just highly skeptical because she was telling me something about my house. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, oh, she could have Googled that. Maybe she found my address on Google Maps, so she knows what my house looks like. And, she said something about I like to take pictures or something. Like, oh, maybe she looked at my Instagram.
Right.
Or, like all these things. I was just so skeptical. But she was the one who first mentioned Reiki to me. And something about the lady felt so familiar because she looked like my aunt in the Philippines.
Okay.
So even though what she was saying, I was just like, what? Is she for real? There was just something about her that kind of felt familiar. And so when she mentioned Reiki, which I had no clue about, I asked her about it. And so that kind of piqued my interest. So I looked into Reiki, and then just from that session with her, it kind of opened up. That's kind of what pushed me down the rabbit hole, because then, I got really curious about Reiki and energy healing, and then the possibility of just like healing, people with just energy, which is outside of what, I've been a nurse, so it's so outside of what I was used to, but it just felt right, like, and so, like, from then on, like, I just followed my curiosity and exploring all these questions and exploring all these modalities, and it's been a fun ride, but it's also I don't know, like, it asks a lot of you, a lot from you. So you are rewarded, but it also asks a lot of you, a lot from you. but yeah, so it's, I've been going through like ups and downs, and like there's times when you're just like, oh my God, I've got it figured out, and like, it's so beautiful, and then the next dip is like, oh my God, who am I?
kidding.
Yeah, who am I even? Like, Where am I? So, but it's, looking back, it's been fun.
Right.
And it's satisfying. So although I never quite found that point that I was looking for initially, where I'm like super skinny, super fit, and like super energized, my journey has taken me to explore so much more than just that. And although that feeling was awesome and it served me at that time, I'm not saying that was a bad way to be. It's just, okay, I've already experienced that. I know what it's like, and there's so many more feelings or experiences or ways of being that I can explore. So I'm enjoying every moment, even when it feels crappy. And there are times where I feel like I'm crazy, but that's why I appreciate your friendship and your presence in this journey, because even though we're not like super close, but just knowing that you get it. And like we'll just like text each other like in the middle of the night and talking about either astrology or even just like our profound like epiphanies that to other people might sound crazy, like what the hell is she talking about? Like it's comforting to know that like there is somebody who is also kind of like on that same journey, not exactly the same, but like parallel journey. So you're kind of like walking each other,
right? Yeah, we're like walking along with each other.
Yeah,
on our spiritual healing path. Totally.
Yeah. So that's where my wellness journey has been taking me. And before, I used to be like really closed off to people. One, because I guess I was afraid of judgment too. Because well, in my childhood, like I haven't really. I've always been scared to make friendships, out of feeling of rejection. But this spiritual journey has kind of opened me up to making deeper connections with people, because the more that I share my journey, like I don't have to pretend to be anything else. I don't have to pretend that I know anything in particular. Like when I just share my experiences or my questions or my aha moments, I guess it kind of sends out like this energetic signal to people, and people relate to that. And so people have come into my field of awareness who I can be genuine with and be myself with all these questions on all this weirdness. So this spiritual journey has kind of helped me find my tribe. Yeah. Like they say, your vibe attracts your tribe, and I really feel that that's very true. The more that you allow yourself to be genuine, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
So how does this all tie in? I read a book, and it's called Ikigai, the Japanese Secret to Living a Long Life. And so I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ikigai. Okay, so Ikigai is their word to describe kind of like your purpose, what it is that gets you up in the morning, what makes you feel alive, or what keeps you busy. And so the services that she provides, the quantum healing as well as the soul alignment, it helps with kind of just putting together the pieces that you've been trying to figure out in your life, understanding what the purpose is in your life. And even if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, this is just a story, like I'm making this up in your mind or in my mind, this is your story. And I think that's the only thing that really matters, because you create your own reality. So so I really appreciate everything that Charmaine has done for me, how she's kind of like held my hand and walked along me on this path, and it's helped a lot. These are tools, and if you choose so, then use them and try to make the best out of what you can decipher from the messages that are coming from the services. But even if you can't figure it out after those sessions, they'll just come to you later, and just let it happen.
Yeah, and I really do believe that like we are all kind of just living out stories. Like there's so many stories. Like if the Akashic Records really was a library, there's so many interesting stories that we're all living out, and we're all kind of like just living out a movie that we're directing, we're acting in, we're writing as we go along. So it is, like finding those pieces that kind of help us understand the story really, really helps. And it's not going to be the same for every person. Not everybody's going to resonate with the services that I offer, but for the ones that do, I feel like it helps them not just kind of like know about it or like theoretically know about it with the quantum healing hypnosis part. I feel like it helps them be in that knowing, if that makes sense, where it immerses you in that knowing and kind of like really puts you in it. So it's not just something that's theoretical, and although science might not be able to explain it, like just you being immersed in the feeling of your story and actually experiencing other parts of your story from past lives. I feel like that really helps people tie it together.
So thank you again, Charmaine. Thank you so much for participating in this interview with me, and thank you all subscribers and viewers for tuning in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you.